You ever have one of those moments where something feels off, but everyone around you acts like you're crazy for even noticing it? That's exactly how this started. One Friday, I was out running errands and shopping with my sister. Just a normal day. Laughing, talking, shopping, not a care in the world. A friend of mine, Tiffany, called me. "Hey, can you pick up Leo for me?" Leo is her 8-month-old son. Leo attends Your Child Matters daycare. Of course, I said. I was already on the authorization list, so it wasn't a problem. We changed our plans and headed to the daycare. When we got there, Leo's room was right near the front desk. I walked in expecting the usual, babies playing, teachers interacting, but something felt off. Too off. And then I saw Leo. He was already strapped into his car seat, coat zipped up, sitting there, asleep. He was sweating. Not just a little. His face looked damp, his hair slightly wet. You know that kind of heat that doesn't look normal? That's what it was. My sister picked up the car seat and headed out to the car, but I stayed behind to talk to the receptionist. "Hey, how long has he been in the car seat?" She looked at me, confused. "Why?" I said, "Because he's sweating, and the teacher in there said she doesn't know." That's when her whole demeanor changed. Her voice got louder, sharper. "Well, why does it matter?" I didn't argue. I didn't match her energy. I looked at her and realized this wasn't going anywhere productive, and I walked out. As I'm walking to the car, I'm thinking, why did she get so defensive over a simple question? My next thought was to call Tiffany, so I did. I told her everything. What I saw, what I asked, how the receptionist responded. Afterwards, I told her we'd drop Leo off after we finished our errands. We arrived at Tiffany's house around 8 p.m. We walked inside, and that's when I saw her. The receptionist, sitting in Tiffany's living room like she belonged there. That's when I learned her name, Rhonda. Apparently, over the last several months, they have been becoming friends. Tiffany, Rhonda, and my sister were all seated. I quietly walked over, placed Leo in his walker, stood up, and right as I was about to speak, Rhonda said, "So, why so many questions earlier?" Tiffany glanced at me, then added, "I was able to talk to Rhonda after our conversation, and I just want to clear the air. I don't want any tension in my friend circle." I took a breath. Calm, clear. Respectfully, I said, "When it comes to childcare, there are rules. Babies aren't supposed to be left in devices like car seats, swings, walkers, bouncers for extended periods, usually no more than 10 to 15 minutes. And they're not supposed to sleep in them either. They should only sleep in a crib. I'm not saying I know everything, but I do know enough to say that something didn't feel right today. When we picked him up, no one knew how long he'd been sitting there, and he was sweating." "It's really not that serious," she said. "Babies fall asleep in car seats all the time. Tiffany informed me that you were picking him up. We got him ready for you. You're making it sound worse than it is. I know the rules of running a daycare. I've been running my facility for 5 years. I mean, he was probably just warm. It's not like they would just leave him there for hours." Silence filled the air. And then, dismissal. Eye rolls. Shrugs. That look people give you when they've already decided you're doing too much. Like I was overreacting. Like I was the problem. So I did what I always do. I let it go. Or at least, I tried to. Although I couldn't fully shake the feeling that I did not overreact, questioning why Tiffany wasn't reacting more, and wondering if this wasn't an isolated incident, if maybe this was something they did all the time. I didn't let it interfere with having a good time at Tiffany's house. We stayed for about 2 hours, talking, playing cards, just enjoying some girl time, laughing like nothing ever happened. 2 weeks later, my phone rang. It was Tiffany, but this time, she wasn't calm. She was hysterical. Please meet me at the hospital. Something happened to Leo. They're rushing him there. My heart dropped. I didn't even ask questions. I stopped what I was doing and headed to the hospital. On the way, my sister called me. Your Child Matters is on the news. Something happened to an infant. My stomach turned. I said, Leo's on the way to the hospital right now. Everything started connecting, and I didn't like where it was going. When I got to the hospital, Tiffany was pacing, crying, completely broken. I ran up to her. What happened? I asked. Through her tears, Tiffany explained. When I dropped Leo off at daycare earlier, I was a bit in a rush. Instead of taking him out of his car seat like I normally do, I handed the car seat to his teacher. She did not wake him up. She did not take off his coat, and instead of placing him in a crib, she left him sleeping in his car seat. An hour had passed when she checked on him. Leo was red, burning hot, and barely responsive. The doctor finally came out and gave Tiffany an update on Leo. He explained that they were able to get his temperature down, but they would continue running tests to make sure there was no brain damage or organ damage caused by the heat stroke. He also told us that we could go in and see him. Now in Leo's hospital room, waiting and hoping Leo is truly going to be okay. I couldn't stop thinking about 2 weeks earlier. That question, how long has he been in the car seat? That feeling I couldn't shake. That reaction I got for simply asking. In the days that followed, an investigation was opened. The worker responsible was fired. Parents were outraged. Stories started coming out. Other concerns, other small things people ignored or brushed off. And suddenly, what seemed like not a big deal didn't seem so small anymore. But then another question started to sit heavy. What about Rhonda? As the owner, as the one running the daycare, wasn't it her responsibility to make sure her staff was properly trained? To make sure safety protocols were followed? If something like this could happen, what does that say about what was or wasn't being enforced behind the scenes? And if the worker was fired, was that enough? Or should there have been consequences for the person in charge, too? A few days later, Tiffany came to me. The weight of everything that had happened was written all over her face. She looked at me and said, I should have listened. I didn't say, I told you so. I didn't throw the situation back in her face or make her feel worse than she already did. Because in that moment, it wasn't about being right. It was about how close she came to losing her child. If you were in my position, seeing the signs early and being dismissed, and then watching everything unfold exactly how you feared, would you say, I told you so? Would you stand beside Tiffany and help her fight to get that daycare shut down for good? Or, because she didn't take you seriously before, would you step back and say, this isn't my fight? So I'm asking you, what would you do?